why do you want to be a TEDx speaker? What I see is that a lot of speakers see that as the yellow brick road to the magic kingdom and the key to the door for their corporate speaking business. And I just want you to know that is not necessarily the case. I'll give you the worst first. If you put on your information to a bureau thinking that it's very clever that you spoke at TEDx Albury or even TEDx Ride, you're not doing your brand any favors at all. I want to just tell you the truth. Can you explain to people, because you understand professional speaking and you understand TEDx, why am I saying this and why is it true?
The non-capital city events, let me put it that way, tend to have a lot less applications, or it's someone who knows the organizer, or someone who's just really not that experienced at running events and creating large-scale, high-caliber events. So therefore, the barrier is lower, and therefore the quality is lower, the expectations are lower, everything else is just lower, and then it just, you get, whereas an Adelaide or a Brisbane or a Perth, we'll probably get thousands, probably, of applications a year. And so the absolute cream of the crop end up at the top just by definition of law of averages. So that's probably the first part. Second part is that the capital cities are older, more experienced, more discerning curators, and they understand what's a great idea versus a regular idea. Can I be blunt? I have a mentor who says ideas are like assholes, everyone's got one. I don't know if that's too much for a recording, you might have to bleep that out, but it's true. And so we get brandished with a whole bunch of ideas, but if they're not worth spreading, then it doesn't matter whether you record it at your home and put it on YouTube versus a YouTube stage. If it's not worth spreading, if your idea is not good enough to spread, it's not good enough no matter what stage you're on.
So the mistake you're making is not doing the TEDx at Ride. That's actually not the mistake. The mistake is putting it in your information and sending it out to bureaus thinking, look at me, how good am I did TEDx Ride. But this is what a bureau will do internally. See the eye roll? Doesn't mean much. In fact, the fact that you think it's great tells us where you're at. Let's talk about why it can be good. If everybody's clear why it's not, let's talk about why it is.
I think because our events are community-led events, if your synergy and your message and your narrative and the people in the audience all align, it's a good reason. It's also potentially an opportunity to really test how clear are you on your idea. Could you say your idea is a single compelling sentence? Because that effectively becomes the title of the talk. So this is not for the faint-hearted. This is a tough process. And so, if you're not willing to do the work, then don't even bother applying, because Frank, you'd be wasting both of our times.
Right. You can bring your own accountability to get clear one idea. That's really good practice for you. That's called accountability. And a lot of it's going to be self-accountability if it's a community-led one. Am I right there, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, a lot of the smaller events, even some of the large events sometimes, leave you to your own devices, and I think that's a technical risk.
Absolutely. Okay, so you now know why TEDx is really good on Ride, but you've got to be accountable to yourself and use it, right, to make you better. But don't go in there thinking, if I get TEDx Ride, low level, right, bureaus are going to think it's fantastic and high-level meeting planners are going to think I'm the bee's knees. That's the only thing I don't want you to do.